It's exactly the super adrenaline rush. B Cup, thanks for sending that one in. As always, showing what you do in a Shikishima.
How much damage did Bison get that game?
I don't think he got that much. It didn't look like it, at least.
Shame.
Maybe a couple good torpedo strikes, but that's probably about it.
Not bad. I guess he would be happy with that game then.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking at the Hayate leaderboards right now. The highest average damage is currently 102k. So it's not bad.
He griefed his kills, yeah. 100k or so.
Oh yeah, you're a good diff mate by griefing his kills.
Alright, Mogador. Standard battle, which you don't want to see in a Mogador because you want to go to the flanks, but the battle should be occurring in the middle. Hmm. No carriers to
Yeah,
spot you.
ships that likes to go to the flanks like Mogador suffer in a triple diff because they typically spawn in mid.
That too.
Not the worst thing though. Mogador is okay just farming from in front of the enemy. Just not as effective as say the Haragumo.
Yep. Brand says, also forgot to put camo on. Yeah.
Hmm?
I mean, in this ship it doesn't matter so much. I mean, the difference in concealment, you're not going to notice it. The difference in dispersion for enemy shells coming to you, you might notice. But that's about it.
That oddly can work to your advantage. If you're good at dodging,
Mm-hmm.
then more accurate shells will miss your ship. Basically, you have
Ah.
less strays hitting your ship.
So the new enlightened meta for the French destroyers is to run naked. Got it.
Mhm.
Stream Raiders working for you again? Alright, yep, I just logged in. Jeez. Okay. We'll get to that after this battle. And we might have time for one more Stream Raiders before we go. We'll see.
So for Mogador, your specialty is dodging.
Yep.
When that Petro radared you, if you break that immediate moment, you could have forced him to overshoot you. And
Especially if you
since
turned your
Petro,
engine boost on.
yep, and since Petro only has a 15-second radar, he can't get a second shot onto you before you get behind the island.
Nope. The only thing you'd be dealing with is the enemy ships like the Iowa that would shoot at you as well. But it's an Iowa.
In this case, I'm actually wonder why the ZF6 is not here. The ZF6 is a little bit better in this kind of close environment.
Yeah, I'd really like to see you out here at this point on the 10 line. Like this is where you live, right? 9-10 line or 1-2 line. But on this map, in my opinion, 9-2 line is the better play.
You can even stay mid if you're a Chad.
That's true. The Chad Baguette.
What is your build on the Mogador though? What captain skills do you have?
I don't feel like he's got range. It feels like he hasn't got range of either of the two.
Hmm.
Right? He's got the reload module, main battery mod, whatever it is, in slot 6 all the way at the end. And I don't think he's got the AFT or whatever it's called. So,
16 points, but I want to know what captain skills you have.
right, right. If I were to do this personally, I would probably take preventative maintenance 1 point. Second skill, I would take last stand. Third skill, I would take a survivability expert. Now, the fourth skill, I would probably take the AFT to buff your range for your guns, because you want to engage at maximum range. I think that's the most important. And that takes you to 12. And then you could pick up Brawler, because, I mean, it's a straight buff to your DPM when you're detected, which you should be in this ship.
Hmm.
And then I would hold for a 3-point skill, either Adrenaline Rush if you're using an on array because you get the buffed Adrenaline Rush, or you could go for main beta reload the 5% one, but I think Adrenaline Rush is still better either way.
Adrenaline Rush is just better, especially since you have saturation.
Yep.
In
EU2?
fact, just take 2 more hits and you have the same amount of DPM.
I see you've got radio location. You also have concealment? Okay. So, radio location tells you where your nearest threat is, and unlike most other ships, generally speaking, you want to be sailing away from that closest threat unless it's the end of the game and you know it's a destroyer and it's one-on-one. So I don't think radio location is going to help you that much in this Mogador. And then concealment, we were talking earlier about, most of the time you want to... So Mogador is most comfortable at like, what, 10 to 15 kilometer range, just spamming, until the mid-game, when you could use islands, kind of like what you're doing here, to sneak up on a prey and charge and YOLO torp them.
Yeah. Basically, you have a standard destroyer build.
Mm-hmm.
It's good, but for the wrong ship.
Right. Hello, Coughlin. How are you, by the way? Thanks for the hydrate, by the way, EU2. Oh, goodness. You look away for 1 second. Now you're turning, and that's getting your DPM off. You might also want AP here?
In general, it's actually a pretty poor... this is not a good engagement. You're too close to dodge.
Yeah.
And although you're going to beat the Kitakaze, he just took out half your HP and blew your cover.
Yep. That kind of a maneuver is good for towards the mid to late game. Not now, but once the enemy has started to thin out a bit, right? You got very lucky. Look how many people are over here. Imagine if you were on the 10 line, while your Zumo is holding people in place, you're farming that Kremlin. That's kind of nice. Lizard Fuel says, Kid is a weird destroyer, doesn't play... Yes, it doesn't. That's right.
You're actually too close to the enemy. If you come out, then you're too close to dodge and you kind of blow up.
Yep.
So you have to go back where your ZF6 is if you want to safely farm from range.
I was just going to say that. Now is the part where you want to go to the middle of the map, especially because you don't know where the daring is, and now that you're radared, they can come your way too. So... I don't like what you're doing here. I mean, I get it. You're trying to get the Kremlin. I would have torqued on and to the right for the second one in case the Kremlin slows down or turns into the cap. Or, well, not, there's no cap here, but you know what I mean. Turns into you.
I feel like you just don't, you probably want to... Basically, you're trying to use the Mogador as like a standard destroyer.
Yeah. Yep. And you wanted to use it more as a long-range artillery ship. When it's needed, it can come in and charge and reload boost like what you did to the Kitakaze. But when it's needed, you don't want to be doing that until you know it's needed. I might open up here and use reload booster because you know he DCP'd that flood. So get him on fire again, help your team. Slow down too so you keep those shots. Or crash the island, that's fine too. Daring killed your North Carolina with torp, so the Daring is over here torping up the channel. Yeah, you lost an opportunity there to get him on a sticky fire. Oh, hey! As I say that, there's a sticky fire. You could have gotten him on two if you used your reload booster. How's that sound? Coughlin, I'm doing fine, thanks. How are you?
I know some odd under-aiming on the Kremlin. You could have gotten his superstructure. In fact, that's actually one of the best times to use the reload booster.
Yep.
Whenever someone uses DCP.
Exactly. Vilhorf, hello. Hi of Brazil. If you're in Brazil, that's awesome. Welcome. We have some people here from Brazil checking out the stream. You just replied. You're welcome, dude. Where in Brazil are you, Horf? Ah, there's our Brazilian. Daring will chew you up and spit you out if you're not careful. And you're at half health and he's at full. Oof.
Mogador can actually still take those fights.
With the reload booster, it can.
Yep. As long as your turrets are pointing the right direction.
That's the huge part. And as long as the enemy team doesn't have any backup.
Yep. Mogador excels in destroyer fights for 2 reasons. 1, saturation, and 2, because you're so fast you can't Daring can't hit you.
Mm-hmm.
So let's compare that with the Kitakaze fight you had earlier. Since you're at 4 kilometers, Kitakaze had no problems hitting you, so he was able to take out about half your HP.
Yep, a lot of movement here. You might have been better served torping towards the Daring. I know you're trying to get the Kremlin if he reverses, but... Oh, and your div mate is low, okay.
ZF6 should have run away a lot faster than
Yeah,
that.
I see that now. He definitely attracted the enemy's attention, that's for sure. Been a bit sick the past 2 days, sorry to hear that. It's not COVID? Okay, that's good. And nice kill. So, the Daring didn't think that you cared about him until, well, you looked at him and shot him. Then he realized you cared about him, and now it was too late.
It's more like Daring can't hit a ship. He couldn't hit you for some reason.
That is also true. He was looking at the North Carolina, a ship that's sitting still, and then technically you were kind of still sitting still, actually, because of beaching. Alright, now you go into the middle, and you basically shoot whatever starts pushing up from the middle, like that Iowa. But don't shoot yet.
With your HP, I wouldn't have blamed you if you just went for the battleship that's dueling the North Carolina.
Yeah, you could also go for the Kremlin. My concern with that, of course, you got the Drake there. Moving where you went to is okay. If you were farther back, you could clear the island with your shells, and you could farm the Iowa for free. What do you know? The Kremlin lived. I'm shocked. I'm sure you're shocked too, SAT. This never happens.
Nope, never at all.
Never happens.
It is truly Kremlin's finest hour.
Mm-hmm. Alright, well, we kind of already know what's going to happen here, I think. Now, you are going too wide here. I think you're going to try to torpedo in front of him, and I think you'd be better served to charge straight at the island, to use that island to conceal you until it's too late for the Kremlin to dodge.
Yep, this is a bit dangerous because you're pinned against that island. If he comes out at the wrong time and throws a couple shells at you, I think 4 hits would actually kill you.
Oh, yeah. So that's why I think you want to charge the island here, pop out at the last second and get in front of him, or you still have time to get around behind him if you think he's reversing, which it looks like he actually is.
Also, yell at Yorizuma to go attack him.
He's healed up quite a bit now. He's got the opportunity to move forward and get involved in the fight, yes. And now your engine boost is about to end when you need it the most.
So, with his current position, what do you think he can do in this
Oh.
Mogador?
Don't shoot, don't shoot, don't shoot. He could do a lot to this Mogador right now. And the Drake is there too. Now, if you were range, you could be engaging this guy from a much safer distance, which would probably be working well in your favor, but you're not, so all you can do now is just luck chuck torpedoes at a Kremlin that might push, might not. You have a high ping after 10.6? I'm sorry to hear that, Horf. I don't think I have discovered a high ping on my end. Here comes the Drake shells. So you're spending an awful lot of time trying to dodge. I think you'd be better suited just keeping the shots going and just instinctively turning your ship left and right. It's not going to be as effective as dodging, but you really need to get your DPM going here. On the NA server, Will? Okay.
You have a choice to make. Who are you going to be farming? Iowa
Right.
or Kremlin?
It looks like you've chosen the Iowa. The only problem with choosing the Iowa is that there's a Harlem over here too. And in Alabama, but really it's the Harlem that's the big concern.
Why is Pop speed boost right now?
Probably because he's engaging in combats and anticipating them shooting back at him, which I can understand. But yeah, waiting until he knows they're going to fire at him is probably a better play here.
This is your last speed boost, so I would have at least timed it so it would be active until the end of the match.
Right. AP on broadside with reload booster is okay here. But you have to make sure that all of these shells count now. Kremlin takes out the Montana. Your division mate has turned and run. Now, if you had buffed the guns instead of your concealment and RPF build, you could continue to farm the Iowa right now and be relatively safe doing it. Instead, you're forced to kind of get back into concealment to kite away, to then have to turn around and get back into concealment as well.
Mogador, the French destroyers, for that matter, can farm safely at about 12 to 15 kilometers. The ship, almost all ships at that point will have too long of a shell travel time to accurately hit you.
Mm-hmm. And that's why range is so important on this ship. Would you go for double range, SAT? Would you grab the range module for the slot 6 as well as AFT?
That is getting into meme territory.
So in other words, pick one or the other.
Yeah. Recommended to take AFT first, but if you don't have the captain skills, then range mod is acceptable.
Mm-hmm. There you go, Koopsta. And yes, we had some storms coming through the Midwest yesterday, and that might have slowed things down a little bit with data centers. Wargaming's data center for warships and tanks, I believe, is actually in Chicago. Now, Bam is turned around because your Haragumo, with Talon in tow, are going to threaten the situation.
No, double check where Iowa's turrets are pointing.
Yep. Reload booster here is not necessary until you know that he's DCP to fire. You're going to get resets regardless now, so that's not a concern. Iowa gets torpedoed by the Haru. That's huge. Now it's up. Yep, and of course we knew the Talon was going to die. So it's up to you and your teammate, your division mate, to basically get resets. And now you can't. Turn around, flip your guns, head south. Go again. You don't need a kill as long as your Haragumo caps before the Bama gets into the cap. Oops.
Throughout this match, I've never seen you do any stop juking. That is one of the hallmarks of the French destroyer line.
Yep. Use the S key. Shoot your guns.
Basically, you can travel between reverse, a stop, and quarter speed.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's what all the skilled French destroyer players do. They literally just dodge in place. They can hold that position forever. If the enemy shoots at you, you just simply back up or go forward depending on where his shells go.
Right. Yeah, Coops, we had the storm come through this morning at like 2 a.m. It was quite loud. Kept me awake for a long time. But see, this is a good decision here, actually. There's no need to shoot, no need to open up. Just
Nope, you
spot for
have
your
to.
teammate.
You have 5 seconds.
Oh, you're right. Never mind. Timer says you lose.
Yep, you had to get the Harlem out, but unfortunately, you just don't have DPM.
No. Alright, let's go to Stream Raiders, because it's finally back up and running. We'll put a haste on. We'll start the battle, do a 30-second ad. Here we go. 5 tornadoes around your area last night. Wow. Jutland replay is next, and will probably be our last replay for the stream. We'll see.
Sounds like the storms got really bad in Chicago.
Yeah, they weren't terrible by me. They were loud, but they weren't like horrific. So. Three to 1 advantage. Look at this ghost just coming in from the back. I like it. Dynamics, here's your game in the Jutland. Alright. Let's see. Profundity, I'll give you some warrior scrolls. Random goes to Fire Smoke. We have a 3 skull difficulty. We're going to start it. We'll probably finish this battle off stream, guys. So, did I get some progress towards my quest there? No, that doesn't matter. It's a daily anyway. It's going to end. This one ends too, so it really doesn't matter. We have to do battle plans. That's all we have to do. Okay. So that, and battle plans that. Yay. Alright. Let's get to our game. This will probably be our last one, so I think it's time to get another giveaway going, huh?